Hello friends, my name's Emile and welcome back to some more Forza Motorsport 6. Today, well, we're going to be taking a look at this. This is the Mercedes-Benz Actros racing truck, and it is an incredibly crazy vehicle. I was holding the camera up there. This is what the car actually looks like with normal camera view. It is by far and away the biggest car ever to be added to Forza. This thing honestly makes the Gurkha look like a Hot Wheels toy. And so do its power figures. 1,080 horsepower, 3,690 pounds-feet of torque. Despite this, however, it is still a B-class car. It may be towards the top of B-class, but it is still a B-class car. That's because it weighs 12,125 pounds, which is kind of a lot. So, with that all being said, I was kind of curious, what is the racing truck going to be like to drive? And, well, to be perfectly honest with you, I've never driven a racing truck in any racing game. I may actually tell I may have done it in like a Toka, was it Toka Race Driver back in the day? I remember that being a thing. Oh my god, it really doesn't fit on the screen, does it? I remember maybe driving them in Toka Race Driver, but other than that, I've never actually driven one, especially not in a game as sort of advanced as Forza. So for my first drive, I figured I'd take it to the Nurburgring, because why not? I don't like the Nurburgring at all. I mean, a vehicle I've never driven, and this could end horribly badly. So I decided what better to do than to film the whole experience. So let's see how this goes. This could go one of two ways. I could be pleasantly surprised by the racing truck, or I could be killed by the racing truck. And both of those sort of outcomes are equally as likely to happen. Let's be honest. I mean, again, I'm not the most competent driver. I don't like the Nurburgring, so let's see how well this goes. Before we do, I'm actually just going to quickly turn on, where is the thing? There should be something about it somewhere in here. Assists, there we go. I was playing around for the music video, so I had myself set to be in 24th place. However, if there's no other vehicles on the track, what's the point of that? Anyways, here we go as we arrive at the line. Jesus, this thing is huge. Oh my god, the camera is terrible. Doesn't sound particularly... Oh god, the gearbox is extremely short ratioed. Oh, okay, okay, that didn't go too badly. Apparently this vehicle is just constantly in the red line. It is a weird experience driving something this high up in the sky. Like, to be fair, cars with like high seating positions I get kind of confused by. This is no exception. I have 9 gears. I wonder if I have any more than that, because that was only down that one straight. Ooh, there we go. Okay, now that we're around the first few corners, I've got to be honest, this thing is actually, like, this actually puts certain sports cars to shame with the way this thing drives. It's actually pretty darn good. It's a lot better than I was expecting up to now. You can definitely feel the weight of it. Not as much as you maybe would expect, though. This definitely isn't a Gurkha. Like, the Gurkha, you can feel the weight horrifically, and the actual driving that vehicle is all horrific. Whereas in this one, it's not too bad. I have 10 gears total. Yeah, we are going to brake for here. Ooh, not braking just about enough. Get away from the tyre wall. Thank you, truck. That could have gone wrong. Hey, I have like a little rear view camera thing. That's cool. Okay, so far so decent enough, I guess. I'm actually kind of enjoying myself in this, and this is a lot better driving than I was expecting it to be. You know, I do have to admit, I did see 1,100 horsepower, you know, almost 3,700 pounds-feet of torque, and go, oh dear, this could end horrifically. It's actually not too bad. Even the brakes aren't too bad. That's like one thing you'd really expect to be dodgy in the racing truck, but to be honest with you, it isn't half bad. It really isn't half bad at all. I'm pleasantly surprised by the truck. It is really darn good. Let's see how much speed we can actually get up for this section. Of course, I do need to break through some of these corners, you know. I'd be an idiot to tell you, you know, oh, it handles perfectly. It really doesn't. There is a good degree of understeer in this vehicle. But, I mean, it is a little bit skittish at the rear end as well. I think the rear wheels do occasionally slip. However, you know, this vehicle, it's not quite as drifty as I was expecting it to be, because to be honest with you, I was expecting the rear wheels to just constantly be lighting a tyre fire. But, no, I can't no way you can flat out round there as I go into the tyre bundle. Let's get this thing put in reverse and get round. Yeah, I mean, it does lull you into a bit of a false sense of security. It basically gets to the point where you're like, oh hey, I can like push it around this corner, and then it turns out you can't. I'm just trying to figure out where the limit is with this vehicle. And the problem is with sort of understeery vehicles is it can be kind of difficult to figure out where the limit of sort of grip is. And on this truck, that certainly rings true as we come around here. Yeah, I don't think this is a particularly good truck for, say, hot lapping or anything like that. Or a particularly good vehicle for hot lapping, I should say, as I smash into a wall. Let's just rewind that one. I forgot to turn the simulation damage back on, but still, I wouldn't really want to bash up this nice truck. Right, there we go, come from there. On the brakes nicely, there we go, around. Yeah, it's a very strange vehicle to drive, though. Again, I do have to admit I've gotten used to the seating position, but it's still a little bit weird. The gearbox is incredibly weird, partly because you don't really know where you are with it. Like, because so much of that rev counter is red, it's really hard to figure out where to change gear. I believe the end of the road is about 3750 RPM. I don't know what top speed we can get out of this. I'm assuming it's not much. I'd probably say if I can get about 140 out of this, I'll be amazed. There we go, through there. It still isn't bad, though. Like, that's the thing. It is not a bad vehicle to drive. And, yeah, I've always looked at these vehicles and sort of wondered how, you know, how do these actually drive? How do they perform? Because, of course, they're super powerful, super heavy. You know, it's not really stuff you want in a nimble race car. Especially when you see some of the tracks these things race around. I mean, you know, they drive around pretty narrow tracks. So I've always wondered sort of what these vehicles drive like around narrow tracks. I'm going to brake through here. I'm not quite that brave to full throttle around there. I maybe could have gone away with it, but nah, I don't really want to risk anything unnecessary. There we go, bit of tyre squeal coming from there, but nothing too major. Around this corner again. It's a weird thing because it's like I'm in 6th gear at 50 miles per hour. Like, that is not normal to say the least. Into the carousel, understeer a little bit out wide. I did injure it a little bit. I can't imagine I injured it too much though, because I mean, look at it, it's not like you can really injure a big ass truck too massively. Ooh, there we go. Just ease off the power. Yeah, it's a genuinely surprising vehicle, this one. Do give it a try. Again, I said this in the Isetta video, I said it in the DLC video. I do recommend this DLC pack. They have certainly brought some truly interesting, unique stuff to Forza, and this is definitely one of those things. It's just such a weird experience to be driving something so high up, so heavy, so powerful, so torquey, and it's not too bad. Again, I refer to the Gurkha. You know, the Gurkha's probably the closest thing we've had to a truck in the game, and, you know, that weighs a lot more than this, sure. In fact, it weighs 6,000 pounds more than this does, but it's just so much worse than this vehicle to drive. Even the Hummer H1, and the H1 is quite a lot less powerful than this and quite a lot less sort of weighty, and that doesn't handle its power particularly, or that doesn't handle itself particularly well either. The Mercedes-Benz racing truck, however, it's good. It really is very good. I will say I do plan on maybe race building one of these at some point. It is only a B-class car, which is kind of surprising. As well as that, while it may be a B-class car, there is still more power to extract from this. I believe you can hit about 3,900 pounds-feet of torque. and about 1,200-ish horsepower, which is quite a lot. There's also a bunch of magnificent aero available for this. It has a mighty front splitter and a interesting rear spoiler, so I'll definitely have to play around with that at some point. Brake into here. There we go, around there. Excellent. Yeah, I am pleasantly surprised with my racing truck, and I definitely think I could get a clean lap around the Nurburgring. Again, Nurburgring isn't a track I particularly like. I don't do too badly at it nowadays, nowhere near as bad as I used to. No, or I'm not like as anti-Nurburgring as I once was. I still don't like driving around it, but it certainly isn't bad, right? How much straight line speed can we actually get out of this thing? 130, 131, 132, 33. Come on, I want 140 at least. I also want an excuse to switch into 10th gear, but I don't think that's going to happen. It is a mighty, mighty spectacle, this thing. It just looks so damn intimidating. I can imagine as far as trolling goes, this is certainly going to be a new vehicle for them to use after using the Gurkha for so long. 135, yeah, there's no way I can get 140 out of this. At least down the Nurburgring, maybe on Le Mans. And with a bit of drafting, maybe you can... Well, at least the tyre walls don't seem to affect it all that much. It just sort of bounces off them. It doesn't really care, does it? But hey, what do you expect? Yeah, I also need to remember this vehicle's quite wide. Yeah, I've got to say, very pleasantly surprised by the racing truck. It was much better to drive than I was expecting. An 857 isn't too bad around the Nurburgring either, so... Yeah, pleasantly surprised with the racing truck. Anyways, friends, that is it for this video today. I do hope you've enjoyed. If there's any cars you'd like for me to cover in this DLC, just let me know, and I will cover them, or indeed any other vehicle in the game. Anyways, friends, I want to thank you all very much for watching. My name's been the Real Emile. Until next time, farewell.